more time away from this gentleman. This gentleman is our external wholesaler, our regional vice president, our product provider with Transamerica. Please give a big round of applause for Brett Gallinger.
Thanks for having me, guys. Every time I come here, the crowds are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is great. Let me just put this on the PowerPoint mode so you guys aren't seeing the notes beforehand, right? I'm going to stand here because my clicker's not working today, so I apologize. Broke down at my first meeting today. That's okay?
You can borrow mine.
No, it's all good. We're good. We're good. I'm good. I'm positive. Yeah. All right. So let me start by saying a couple things. I know today you heard a lot of great advice from your leaders. I've been in the industry 9, 10 years, right? I've presented to the Morgan Stanleys, the Merrill Lynches, all these other firms out there, and I can say there's nothing like WFG, right? I know Nick already touched on it. This is the only firm where you can actually recruit and be a producer, right? Nowhere else can you do that, right? Some of the other firms might say that, but the reality is they don't have the teamwork and the associations that you guys have. I don't know any other firm that says, hey, you have a leader that's going to help you, or you can do split codes on certain individuals because you're new to the industry. Right? It's very unique to WFG, and there's nothing else out there like this. So the opportunity is big. Don't take it for granted. A lot of people sit there and they let it just kind of go. They join, they do a couple meetings, and then they don't do anything. Right? You guys have your license. You took your time to be here today, right? Do something with it. So I'm going to encourage you guys to do something with it. And the other thing I love about WFG, guys, there's no minimums, right? This industry is pretty cutthroat in most firms. Can we all agree on that? Yeah. Right? They hand you a phone book. They said make phone calls, get assets. If you don't, you're done. Pass your test within 2 days. If you don't, you're done. Right? That's the kind of attitude that they have, right? This one is much more family oriented. They're going to help you. They're going to help you succeed. I can say that you have the best products with Transamerica, right? We're both owned by the same company, Aegon. All right, so I'm not here as just another product provider, right? I'm actually a sister company to you. I always want you to do what's best for the client. That's what I'm gonna always say, right? I'm gonna ask for 99% of your business because I wouldn't be a sales individual if I'm not. Right? I think there is room for 1% for our competitors. We're not gonna be a perfect fit, right? I talked to Reggie. I need to get that nationwide box off that table. But I know he does a lot of trans, so I let it slide this time. And he actually showed me how to Transamerica pen, so that makes up for it. So guys, today I'm really going to focus on a couple things. First off, I want to help you guys as much as possible. I think the best advice I can do is help build your business, right? I think wholesalers, we all have different products. We can sit up here and talk about products, which I will touch on the products. But I'm going to help you guys build, right? And build through our products, right? Your leaders do a great job teaching you how to recruit, right? I'm going to teach you how to build using our products and solutions that we have, okay? And so you see this slide. Some of you were here last time. I went through a couple slides that are similar. I just want to quickly go over our branding. We changed our branding at Transamerica. Everyone used to just like notice the San Francisco skyline. We have that pyramid up there. That's kind of a well-known symbol for Transamerica. We're still having that symbol, right? But we have a partnership with MIT, okay? And we're focusing on health and wealth. We're taking a holistic approach to finance, totally different. No other company's doing this. And the reason why is if the #1 bankruptcy is medical, don't you think we have to address those things before we can address someone thinking about retirement?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Oftentimes, people are always talking about retirement. They miss out on the health part, right? Our company started realizing that health and wealth are intertwined. It's not one or the other, right? And it's a holistic approach. So a lot of the material we're going to come out with, it's going to give facts. So I always tell people I sell on facts and emotion. And I think that you'll be super successful in your life if you sell on facts and emotion, right? So a lot of the new pieces that we're coming out with are single sheets for client approved. You can find them on the TLD website that'll show you at the end. And it'll say a fact about like diabetes, how many people are diagnosed, and what's the average yearly cost of diabetes. Right? Or it'll say on average 80% of people that have early onset diabetes don't even know they have it, right? And then on the back side of that, it'll give a solution. It'll talk about our IUL, our term, right, and our fixed index annuity, or whatever other solution we think is appropriate for that disease, right? So those are the kind of single sheets that we're going to be coming out with that are going to help you guys spark conversation, right? This is all about building a business. So what I call it, if you can get a client wobbly, that's your opportunity to provide them with a solution, right? So as soon as you give a fact and you see those pupils go big because they're like, holy cow, I didn't know it cost that much for retirement, or to do this, if I have this disease, I didn't realize that, right? That's your opportunity, because they're scared at that point, for you to go in and really say, but guess what? We partner with Transamerica, and we have a great solution that's going to help that issue, right? Or help provide for your family if something does happen to you, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about, and then I'm going to go over our IUL, I'm going to go over our term, and I'm going to go over our fixed index annuity. But I'm not going to go over all three in that much depth. People have always asked me, they come up to me after BPMs or big events, hey, where do you guys win? Give me the 5 bullet points of where you guys win compared to your competitors, right? And we've been asking for slides for so long to get approved through our compliance, and I finally got them approved, okay? So we have 3 different slides that I'm going to go through, and I'll let you guys take pictures of it. It's just a great thing to have if you're, you forget, can the IUL win in this market or this area, right? It's going to win 99% of the time, okay? And have that as a refresher, okay, on each of our different products. So we'll touch on that. And then I'm just going to end with a couple sales strategies, how to build, right? What are the top leaders in the company doing? Because I speak to them on a regular basis. And then I'll teach you guys some of those strategies, and then I'll give you some resources. And if you have questions, we'll take maybe 5-10 minutes. Okay? Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
All right. So this is me in 20 years. I'm still wholesaling. I'm gonna have white hair here, right? But how old is old? I love this slide. It's just a good question. People are always shocked by this. Most people actually think the age is about 70 to 75. When we took a national survey, I don't believe that, right? People are living a lot longer. And the reason why we brought this up is 200 people over the age of 70 ran the Boston Marathon this last year.
Wow.
200, right? So when someone says, oh, you're thinking about retirement, right? Most people think, oh, you're going to sit on a front porch and have your lemonade, maybe a beer, whatever suits your needs, right? And you're going to watch the days just fly by. That's not retirement for most people these days, right? Retirement is a lot of times taking on a new job, right? And joining WFG, second careers, visiting grandkids, going on vacation, right? I mean, how many people would want to join WFG and go on those vacations if they were retired? Everyone, right? Yeah. It's an untapped market. It really is, I'm telling you guys. But the reality is, many people in this room are nervous about going after some of these older individuals, right? Maybe nearing retirement, because they think, oh, they've had a financial advisor at one of these big brokerage firms. They've made millions of dollars. Why would they listen to me? I'm brand new in the industry. I can tell you why they listen to you. They don't have the products, right, that you have opportunity to sell them. A lot of these other broker dealers don't have the products, right? The IUL is unique to WFG, our FFIUL, right? Our fixed index annuity, I'll give you a prime example. My brother works for Merrill Lynch, right? Boo, right? He can only deal with clients that are $1 million or more. That's his client base, right? He can't take a client on below $1 million. Okay? I ask him all the time, how's your prospect list look? He's always like, oh, it's like only 10 people long, I'm struggling to get clients. He's like, hey, what's WFG's prospect list look like? I'm like, 148 million. And we get a chuckle out of it every time. Because that's how many people you guys can actually go after. Because that's how many people are underinsured or not insured, right? So I showed him our fixed index annuities, and we walked through the whole presentation with him. You know the first thing he said? Hey, can I get this at Merrill Lynch? And he can't, right? He can't. We don't have an agreement for our fixed index annuities with them. So think about it. You guys have a unique opportunity to sell products beyond just life insurance products. Right? A lot of people say, well, these people want investments. You can do it with a life license, fixed index annuities, okay? So I wanted to show that to you. So we'll talk a little bit about those fixed index annuities in a minute, but at least want you guys to know, don't be afraid to go after those people. These people that are thinking about retirement, they have a lot of wealth.
So how old is old?
How old is old? Well, I don't think there's a number. Honestly, I think with technology, if you guys were at convention, you saw technology advancement, right? I mean, if you make it past, well, for men, I'm sorry, old is 85. After 85, most people are female. So all the females in the room, congratulations. All the males in the room, you better have life insurance policies to protect your spouses if you don't have them.
Living to 120, man.
Okay? So just FYI, that's what MIT Age Lab, a lot of this data is going to be coming from them. Dr. Joe Coughlin, if you haven't heard of him, Google them. We have great little 5-minute clips that you can use, client approved. I'll give you a website to go over that. Think about this though, 10,000 people in the US turn 65 every single day. Untapped market. These people have made a lot of money back from 2008. They all lost a lot, but they've made it all back. 9-year bull run, right? The market's been going up, okay? So it's a perfect opportunity to start talking to them about protecting their money, whether that's an IUL, whether that's a fixed index annuity, whether that's a term, right? Because now they're thinking about, okay, legacy money. Well, who could I pass this on? If I die, how do I make sure that my kids get a good education, or get their home or the wedding of their dream if I pass away? Okay. I talked about the holistic approach. Well, 81% of people actually want a holistic approach. They want you to start getting to know their health habits, right? And that seems a little odd, right? Going in and talking about someone's healthy habits, right? Do you exercise 3 times a week for 20 minutes a week, right? Asking that question to the client, most clients are going to be like, no. Well, then what if I could tell you could save $4,500 annually on medical care costs if you did that, right? And so you tell me right now that you don't have money to throw into an IUL, right? Well, let's talk about your exercise habits, right? Because you're spending that money that you maybe could think about your retirement on your medical bills right now. So healthy habits will lead to better wealth. Does everyone see the connection happening here?
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be a little bit different conversation, but we found this holistic approach also has a deeper trust value with clients. So you're building more trust because you're getting to know them beyond just the financial aspect, right? So 8,000 days, if you actually break the lifespan of the average individual into 4 quarters, right? Each quarter is about 8,000 days. So retirement on average is about 8,000 days. So it's important that you bring this up and start talking about products and solutions that are going to span the test of time, right? So we do have a lot of products that are going to do that. This one is shocking, right? 64% of women are the CFOs of their household. Now, I'm married, right? I've been in finance a long time. Yes, I do my investing for my family, but my wife runs most of the decisions in my household when it comes to our finances. And that's the people always laugh at that. They're like, man, you're in the industry, you know? People leave out women or spouses all the time when they're sitting behind a counter talking to one spouse. Incorporate the other one at every opportunity you can, because the ultimate decision maker is going to be the spouse, right? What's going to happen if you're just talking to the husband's going to go back and be like, oh, Reggie was talking to me about this IUL, I just don't know. And then she's going to go, well, what did Reggie say? Oh, what did he do? What did he do? Right? She's going to make the decision or not, right? That's what ends up happening. So I bring this up because I know Angelica does this. Women in Wealth conferences, I highly recommend, even males, partner with another individual, if a female, if you're not married, right? Go do small little group sessions, Women in Wealth. We have great videos talking about women and how they need certain needs at certain ages, right? And different diseases that affect women, right? And all different kinds of great stats that you can use. But if you start targeting those people, you're going to get more business. And there's a lot of women that control all the money. So if they're controlling the money, shouldn't you be marketing towards women? Right? These are, I mean, it's when you see these stats, it's kind of like, why aren't we? Right? A lot of the marketing in insurance and in finance is always towards the males, right? It's very masculine, right? But the reality is, it needs to start being directed towards the females. So, but I'm just trying to help you guys build your business. That's what these stats are going to be. Okay. Remember, I said I'm going to give you some eye-opening things. So 404,000. That's the average predicted healthcare cost. I'm going to stop here for a healthy 65-year-old couple. Now, how many of your clients have $404,000 in their bank account when they think about retirement? Probably not a lot, right? So I bring this up because you can use things and facts like this to start talking about long-term care, LB benefits, right? Because even if they have insurance, they're still going to need these things, right? The Affordable Care Act, right, which was good for a lot of people at sometimes. Well, guess what? Out of pocket, people still pay on average per year $15,000 if they have any kind of medical procedure. You wonder why the #1 bankruptcy in the United States is medical? It's right there, right? So we need to address that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Transamerica. Enough with the health and wealth side of it. We actually just reaffirmed these ratings. So as you can see, February 2018, and Aegon had their half annual earnings report, and we have reaffirmed our ratings again just about 3 weeks ago, I believe. But all A ratings. I can't tell you how many times people get pitched an IUL or a term, and the first thing they do is, let me think about it. They go home, they Google WFG, Transamerica, FFIUL, and there's all these blogs that just talk trash on us, right? And then they come back and they say, hey, I'm really worried about buying an FFIUL. All these people say it doesn't pay out. You know, I read that they don't pay on long-term care. I read all these things. Okay. These are the top rating agencies in the world. They rate every single publicly traded company. Do you think we'd have A ratings if we weren't meeting our customer demands? No, right? So these ratings say that we not only meet short-term demands, but we are well capitalized to meet long-term demands. Okay? So I just bring this up to clients a lot when they start questioning. Hey, I read this blog, and remember, it's a blog for a reason, and it's not a .gov or a, you can actually do .orgs and don't even need to be an affiliated organization. Okay? So just be careful about that. WFG and Transamerica, we're actually going to spend a lot of money with our new CFO on suppressing some of that negative data.
Yeah.
So that's something that I sat down and had dinner with our CMO when I was in Vegas, and we actually had a good discussion. He has a working group actually focusing on that. So stay tuned on that over the next 6 months. You'll start seeing more positive things if you Google FFIUL, because we see a lot of BS out there on the internet. So we're trying to help you guys as much as possible. So I just like this slide because I think it makes it really easy for you guys to understand what product works for what, right? So you can take a picture of this. This is agent use only. I'm going to say that though, so don't go showing your client this. But once again, if a client says, hey, I'm really worried about dying too soon, you'll know exactly what product to pitch them, right? As you can see, the IUL, the term, why are those two there? Well, guess what? They have big death benefits, right? Huge death benefits. So if you die too early, your spouses or your beneficiary is going to be taken care of. That's why those two are on there. Okay, if you live longer than expected, this is something that people worry about, right? These are the top worries typically when people are thinking about their retirement. Live longer than expected, IUL. Why? Because it accumulates cash tax-free. And you can take out income tax-free. What does that mean? Money's going to last longer. Okay? Think about this. If you have a 401k or an IRA, what happens when you turn 70 and a half?
RMD.
RMD, required minimum distribution, right? You've maybe grown your money tax-free for a little while, but now the government wants it, right? They said, okay, you've had long enough time. Now I'm going to start taxing you on that money. And you're required to take out so much so they can tax you on it, right? It doesn't happen with an IUL. Okay, gross tax-free, you get tax-free income. It's very unique, right? Mutual funds, if you're buying it in just a normal brokerage account, you're taxed every single year on earnings, right? So the tax aspects of an IUL, guys, I cannot reiterate. The wealthy people know about it because they've been passing on wealth through life insurance products for a long time. Middle class people are just learning about it, okay? And then fixed index annuity, that's going to help your money last throughout the entire life of you, and if you get a joint policy, your spouse. Because most likely, gentlemen, you're going to die before your spouse, right? And so your spouse is going to live over 85, you're going to die at age 85 or before, okay? And I'm not making up these stats, these are MIT stats, right? But joint policies, once again, getting a spouse involved. Fixed index annuity, even if you ran out of all the money you put in a fixed index annuity, we pay it out for the rest of your life and your spouse's life if you have a joint policy. So you may only have $50,000 to your name for retirement. If you put that in a fixed index annuity, right, you're going to get a monthly check or a semi-annual check, however you want to do it, right? And then you may run out of that $50,000, Transamerica's still on the hook for the rest of your life, paying that same amount, right? I love it because it provides predictability. They're going to get a Social Security check, right? And then they're going to get a fixed indexed annuity Transamerica check every single month and know exactly what their budget is. These other instruments out there, they fluctuate. If the market does good, oh, I get more money that month, right? If the market does bad, oh, I get less money. It's very hard to budget when you're in retirement trying to figure out what the market's going to do. Can we agree?
Yes.
Fixed index annuity is going to provide that predictability, okay? If they become chronically or critically or terminally. Okay, so you see IUL checked here, and some people are like, wait a minute, we can't get chronic, critical, or terminal on the IUL, right? Starting November 17th, that's when we're officially going to launch it for the state of California, okay? So I have an official date from Joe DiPaolo all the way up, right? The 17th is the date where you're going to be able to get a chronic, critical, and terminal on our IUL. I don't want you guys to wait, right? A lot of people say, well, I'm going to hold off until November then to write business. I'm telling you, the only difference is chronic, critical, and terminal. Right now, LTC, everyone should be talking about LTC. That is the Mercedes-Benz or the luxury version of chronic, critical, and terminal, right? So you should always pitch LTC first, right? We came out with this because National Life, right, Primerica, has chronic, critical, and terminal on their IUL, and enough people are saying, hey, we're getting pitched this all the time. Can we come up with something that actually matches up with them? So if you want to match up with them, great. You can now use that in November. LTC is going to blow them out of the water, though. Okay? That's all I want to let you guys know. Yes?
Clarification, because
I remember I was talking to them at Transamerica at convention.
Yep.
It has to be either or, correct?
Yeah, you can't have chronic or LTC on the same contract,
Okay.
right? So I always recommend go LTC first. It's the most comprehensive, and we'll go over this when it gets launched, right? The biggest difference is dollar for dollar off your death benefit versus percentage value off your death benefit, right? Chronic's going to deplete your death benefit a lot faster than long-term care. Okay, long-term care is the most comprehensive coverage you're going to get. Okay, I will say one other thing that's very unique, because your competitors are going to say, oh, we have something just like that. Our chronic you can turn off and on. It doesn't have to be a permanent issue on our chronic. A lot of people don't know that. Your competitors, National Life, right? They have to be permanent. That's a huge differentiating factor that I'm just letting you guys know if you ever run up against a policy that you guys can know, okay? But that's why IUL's on there. So November, you'll be able to write that. Right now, long-term care, guys, okay? If you become terminally ill, you'll be able to still use our FFIUL, because terminals inherit in all contracts in California, right? We're gonna give you access to your money, okay? And then now long-term care. Term, well, that's pretty obvious. LB benefits, chronic, critical, and terminal, right? It's a cheap way to get in. You have clients that may be a little nervous about getting into insurance, get them in a term policy, the LB, right, and then convert that within the first 5 years to an FFIUL. That's an easy strategy to at least get them introduced into insurance, get them protected, and then you switch it within the first 5 years. There's conversion you can use for the FFIUL, right? Now remember, term doesn't accumulate a cash value, right, where the IUL does. So I always say always go with permanent insurance first, right? Lower the base value until they feel comfortable with that target, right? And then make up the difference with term. That's how I approach it. But sometimes people are like, I can't afford that no matter how much you lower it, right? So that's when you can switch to term, okay? And then lastly, you need to supplement the retirement income. IUL, FIA, I think I touched on that enough, right? People are really worried about running out of money. Easy ways to not run out of money. So let's talk a little bit about our index account. As we're talking about going after high net worth people, that 10,000, people retiring right now, I like to bring this up quite a bit. Very unique opportunity being in our IUL, point-to-point crediting. This isn't talked enough about, okay? Think about this. Our global, and if you don't use our global index, I'm gonna highly recommend everyone look at the global index because it's very unique, right? You get access to 3 different indexes in one, right? So if I put in $1,000 in premium today, right? We credit next year on this date, right? The reason why that's unique is with our global, you'll see 50% in the Euro stocks, right? 30% in the S&P, 20% in the Hang Seng. Well, we give you the benefit of the doubt sitting and looking at the markets for a whole year. And then if the Euro stocks or the S&P does better, we weight those ones heavier, whichever one does better. Now let me ask you a question. If your client, who maybe thinks they're a savvy investor, invested directly into the index, do they get the opportunity to weight those heavier after the whole year has gone by? No. Right, so if you're talking to a savvy investment person and they're saying, oh, I'm investing in this ETF, it's an international ETF, right? So, or an index, right? Or maybe someone's like, oh, I'm investing in the S&P. Those are all great, and I think it's great that people invest, but what if I could give you one that has 3 indexes involved and you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt to get weighted heavier in the one that does the best? Then clients are thinking, wait a minute, so no risk of me investing in each 3, you're just gonna give me the benefit of the doubt of 2 of those, whichever one does better? Absolutely, right? That's a huge way to win a client over that's a savvy investor, and it's not utilized enough, okay? The other thing I like to use when talking about our investment side, right? People always ask me, hey, how does Transamerica keep their cap and their floors so steady? Right? This is a big question. This is kind of more detailed, but I feel like I can tell this group, okay? Yeah. So, how do we keep our floors and our cap and our floors steady, right? We haven't lowered our cap, by the way. We only increased it last, I think, 5 years. It was 13.75. On our global, it's now 15, okay? Our floor is positive 0.75, right? And I like it being positive. A lot of people say, why don't you just make it 0, right? Well, I don't like being even, right? It's a lot easier conversation to say, hey, do you like being positive while the rest of the market's down, right? They don't like to say, hey, do you like being even while the rest of the market's down, right? But the way that we keep our cap and our floor steady, right? Aegon, our parent company, manages our general account. So when you actually put a premium into a policy, it goes into something called a general account, right? And that's managed by our parent company, right? And what they're doing is they're using bonds and other instruments to make sure that we can meet those demands of paying out that money long term, okay? But what happens in volatile markets is those investments, they have to start moving them around a little bit, right? So there's trading costs involved every single time you move money around, okay? So with Transamerica, since our parent company, Aegon, runs our general account, what happens? Well, we can save on those transactional costs, right? They're not charging us to trade in our general account because they own us, right? Where our competitors, you'll see if the market tips a little bit here, you'll start seeing caps and floors change, or they'll stop selling products altogether, right? Because they're no longer profitable, right? Because they outsource their general account. Almost every single one of our competitors outsources their general account to a third-party company to do the investment side of it. So what does that mean in a volatile market? Their transactional costs, when they start switching around bonds and stocks and other things, goes way up. When those costs go way up, they have to pay this company. And so where do they take it? They take it out of your guys' policies. So they change the caps and the floors, right? Ours are steady because it's done throughout our company, right? Aegon, our parent company, manages it. They pass on the savings to us. That's why it's steady, right? Does everyone understand that? I know that's a little complex, but that's great to get that savvy investor, and really he's going to say, well, where's my money go? You say, I'm invested. How do you provide this, right? Well, we give you the benefit of the doubt whatever the index does, but your money is actually in our general account. Okay? Everyone feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to tell you guys, over a 25-year period, using the global index, if we did it even and didn't weight it, right, you'd have about a 7% return. Because we weight it, it's a little over 9%, so almost 10%. So you gain about 3% over a 25-year period, which is a lot of money over a 25-year period. Okay, all based off that weighting, point-to-point crediting. Okay. Any questions before I move on? Because this is really important. I think it's underutilized. Everyone feel good with it? Yeah. All right. So, look at, as you can see, we went through this. One thing I want to touch here, maximum illustration rates. You can see the caps and the floors on our product. I went over that. Illustration rates. AG 49. Okay, a lot of you don't know about this, right? It's Actuarial Guidelines 49. It was enacted in 2015. All right, you're going to come up against a client that maybe is talking to an agent from another company. Call it MetLife, New York Life, whatever company out there, right? And they already have an illustration. And their illustration rate's at 6% or 5%, right? And they're going to come up to you and say, hey, Reggie, can you give me an illustration showing 6% with that product? And his response is, no, I can give an illustration showing 7.75. And he's going to say, well, it's not apples to apples. That's what the client's going to say to you. And you're going to say, it is apples to apples, because in 2015, the Insurance Commission came out with this rule saying that you had to put your caps, your floors, and your historical index numbers into this calculation that they came out with, and it spits out a number that you can illustrate, because all the companies have different caps and floors, right? Transamerica has one of the highest caps and one of the best floors, and our indexes perform probably the best in the industry. That's why we illustrate at a higher rate than most people, right? Before 2015, people were illustrating at rates of 15% a year. Unrealistic, right? And people were getting sold these products and misled. That's why they enacted this rule, right? So when someone shows your client illustration of 6%, that's the max that company can do. And apples to apples illustration to that 6% is our 7.75, because they have different caps and floors, different historical data than we do, right? Our indexes perform better than theirs, right? And we have better caps and floors, okay? So never lower our 7.75. And if they say, why don't you lower AG 49, have them look it up. Actuarial Guidelines 49, right? They'll sit there and they're like, wow. And you can talk about that. Before 2015, people were showing illustration rates that were unrealistic, right? We're now using historical numbers on our illustration rates. All right? I just want to make sure everyone understands that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yep. Some scary facts here, guys. First off, think about this. Every 40 seconds, someone in the U.S. suffers a heart attack. Oftentimes people say, I don't need insurance right now. I don't need long-term care right now. I don't need chronic, critical, and terminal on the LB, right? Get it before it's too late. Get it before it's too late. Oftentimes, we think we're doing the right thing healthy-wise. We're working out. We're doing everything we think in our minds. But a lot of times, we can't prevent genetics, can we? We're given a set of genes. We can't change those, right? So you might be doing everything, and those healthy people say, I don't need life insurance. They may be the ones that drop dead. You hear about these marathon runners that they have a heart attack, right? And you're thinking, how does a marathon runner have a heart attack? Right? professional soccer players. A couple of them recently in the last year have dropped dead on the middle of the field, right? Do you think they were thinking about this? Probably not. They were thinking, I'm the healthiest person in the world. I was a professional athlete, right? You never know, right? So it's important that you make sure you're telling your clients, get it early, get it when they're young, okay? Every 40 seconds in the United States, someone has a stroke, right? And a new cancer case is diagnosed every 30 seconds. Now, if those facts aren't a little nervous, or what I call make your clients wobbly, man, your clients, they're stones, right? That's all I'm going to say, right? The objection of what I'm trying to show you guys is make your clients a little wobbly. You're going to come in with the solution, right? I don't want you to fear sell a client, because you're never going to have a client for life if you sell them on fear, right? But opening them up and their minds to see what's really happening in the world isn't fear selling them, because you're going to actually provide a solution, okay? And that's going to provide that comfort that they know their family's taken care of, because that's what we're ultimately here, right? To take care of people that maybe have these issues or get diagnosed with these issues. If they have a policy before they get diagnosed with cancer, right? I'll give you a prime example. There's someone on the green side, one of the leaders got diagnosed with kidney cancer. I didn't even know it, right? He comes up to me and told me that he had one of his kidneys removed, right? And he had cancer and all this stuff. And I said, weren't you nervous? What do you think he said? He said, no. He said, I had 5 different policies. So he's like, if I passed away because of this, my family's taken care of. I wasn't worried at all. He's like, I was worried for myself to make sure that I recovered, but I wasn't worried about those other things. That stress of worrying about your family wasn't an issue, so he could focus on himself to get better, right? Yeah. Think about that, telling a client, hey, you can focus on yourself, right? Because you know your family's taken care of, right? That's a health and wealth connection there. Okay? So the average hospital stay costs over $10,000. Out of pocket, even with insurance. Okay? 1 in 8 cancer patients delay or refuse treatment due to high cost. I had an associate that I used to work with at my previous company. She had thyroid cancer, right? Spread throughout her body, actually. And she had really good medical care coverage, but what ended up happening is she was wanting to see certain doctors that insurance wasn't covering, and so she struggled with money. And she told me she had to do the most embarrassing thing she's ever had to do. She started a GoFundMe page and asked family and friends to donate so she could get care, right? And she said, man, I really wish I would have known about a term LB or the LTC or something like that before this happened to me, because then I wouldn't have to go ask family and friends to pitch in. Now, the good news is she's in remission. She had a lot of family and friends that all pitched in, right? But I don't want you guys to ever have to ask family and friends for money, right, to help with medical issues, okay? So get it early, get it often, okay? Alzheimer's is one of the most expensive diseases for people over the age of 65, costing families and society $277 billion in 2008. Think about that, right? And Alzheimer's just doesn't affect the individual. It affects the people taking care of them. A lot of times people just think of the disease as the individual disease, but remember, the cost of care for you maybe to have to not go prospect that night because you're taking care of your relative that has the disease, right? What are you missing out on, right? How much money are you losing out on, or having to going part-time at your job instead of full-time, right? Because of a disease to take care of a relative. Now, everyone does it because it's the right thing to do, and I'm not knocking anyone that does that. But think about if you had maybe a policy on that individual ahead of time where they could have someone come in and get care, like long-term care, right? You would be able to still work your job, right? You'd be able to still provide for your family. You wouldn't be struggling for money like most people are when these kind of things happen. So let's talk a little bit about it. I told you I'm going to show you where we win, okay? So we went through a lot of the FFIUL today. So where do we win? All right, the FFIUL has never lowered its cap. Okay, that's huge. Okay, a lot of our competitors can't say that. One of the few companies with a positive floor. Talked about that. You know, being able to say positive instead of 0 is great, right? Highest max illustration rate. Okay, one of the few products with living benefits coming in November, and long-term care. Okay, now you can't have chronic and LTC on the same policy, but you can have terminal, right, and LTC on the same policy, what we currently have right now, right? Point-to-point crediting, we talked about that, discussing the indexes in a way which an investor can feel like they're actually getting good value, right? Someone that's a savvy investor, well, they're getting good value with ours, okay? We have a high fixed account interest rate. People don't often know about this. 3.5 for a fixed account rate. What's the CD rate right now? 1.5 maybe, right? So someone that's looking for security, isn't an IUL a good product? You could say, hey, I'll give you a fixed account at 3.5%. A CD, you're getting 1, maybe 1.5%, right? Another whole other opportunity that someone that's a really conservative person, well, now you can put them in a product. Not only do they get cash accumulation, they get the protection they're looking for. On top of that, they have a fixed account in there, okay? We're one of 2 companies that has a long-term care death benefit based off increasing. Think about that. Only 2 companies in the industry have increasing death benefits, right? The average nursing home care cost in California is $97,000 a year. Okay, LIMER projects that's going to triple over the next 15 years. So that's over $300,000, right? Scary, but at the same time, think about it. If you have an increasing long-term care with your death benefit, right? It's going to grow with you. So as you age, you're going to be able to increase that, all right, automatically. That's a huge benefit. Only 2 companies do it, right? We're one of them. I'm not going to give you the other one because I don't want you guys writing them. Okay. I'm not even going to say if they're in WFG. Okay. Chronic illness. Once we launch it, guys, it doesn't need to be permanent. We talked about that already. Okay. So, where do we win on term? All right. This is the next one. Okay. The only one I'm going to say the point of sale underwriting 48-hour turnaround. Not in California yet. We're working on it. You could thank the DMV for that. Motor vehicle report takes longer than 48 hours. That's why we're not able to provide it. What we are looking at is 3 to 5 business days where we're going to be able to provide that for California soon. Okay. So right now we have 1 or 2 carriers with living benefits. Again, 1 or 2 in the whole industry, guys. Okay. Only a few companies that offer terminal, critical, and chronic. Do you know the term only pays out 1.8% of the time? Is that very good for the clients?
No.
No, right? By adding the LB benefits, that goes way up, right? Everyone always asks me, what number is it, right? Well, it's too early to actually give a number, right? Just think about those diseases that I showed earlier, right? Because LB benefits are rather new, right? So if I gave you a number right now, it wouldn't be accurate because people haven't really accessed it. It's only been around for 5, 6, 7 years, right? So I think, personally, it's over 25%, in my opinion. Just think about the diseases that are coming up, right? Every 30 seconds, someone has cancer. Well, they probably can access this money, right? Or a heart attack, they're going to access this money. Most term policies, you can't access your money unless you die. That's not very good. So I need care. I've been putting money in something, and I can't access it. I don't like that, right? I want access to it, okay? So that's a really good opportunity. And then non-med underwriting for coverages amounts between $25,000 and $249,999, right? You don't have to do the blood and pee. Okay, yes.
And that has to be a standard rating, correct?
Correct, yeah, you're not gonna, so if you wanna get further underwriting to get a better rating, you can, but some people just, they hate the needles, they hate the pee in the cup, right? I don't know why, but end of the day, each his own, okay? So that's an opportunity for you guys to talk about to those individuals. Now, this is new for a lot of you, so stick with me here. Fixed index annuities, right? Simple crediting method. Point-to-point crediting, just like you're used to on the IUL, right? With the fixed index annuity, same thing. Where we win is on the income side, right? 50 and above, looking to take income within 10 years. That's where we win, right? Now, next year I might be saying we win throughout, right? Because we may be coming out with an accumulation product. I can't confirm or deny that. But stay tuned on that. But income is where we win. And traditionally, people that you're going to put in this product are older clients looking for lifetime income, right? High age bands for income. That's what. So if you look at our age bands, right, starting at age 50, I think it's 4%. At age 85, I think it's over 7.5% for the rest of their life, right? Think about that, 7.5% without even having to worry about the market. That's what they're going to get every single year in income. That's pretty good, right? I eliminated the market, right? And you're going to get that income for the rest of your life, even if you run out of money, right? And hopefully you put your spouse on there if you have a spouse. Remember we talked about this? Okay? Because if I get her spouse come to me, and this happens a lot, I wasn't put on my husband's policy. Why? Why wasn't I, right? When you turn on income, you can elect joint, by the way. You don't have to have joint in the beginning. You can elect it when you turn on income with our fixed index annuity. Okay? Premium enhancement. We offer a 5% bonus on our 10-year product. So we have an 8 and a 10-year fixed index annuity product, right? 5% bonus on our 10-year product. On our 8-year product, just 0.25%. Okay? So you get free money, basically, right? You're getting a 5% bump whatever you put in. You can add premiums within the first year. Very unique, right? Typically on fixed index annuities, people take our 401k, they roll it over, and that's it. You can't put any more money in that contract, right? Well, what we're noticing is a lot of people roll their 401k over, and the market tanks, and now they have this IRA that's invested somewhere, And they're saying, where do I put this money? I don't want to be invested in the market anymore. It's, it's going down. Well, as long as within the first year, you can throw that in the same contract, right? So it's very unique. Minimums to add on is $1,000. Okay?
Wow.
To get into one of these contracts, $10,000. And then additions, right? Additional premiums within the first year is a minimum of $1,000. Does everyone understand that? Okay? You want to start making big commission checks, guys? Fixed index annuities. Pays over 5% to the grid, right? To WFG, right? And then based off your contract with WFG, it gets down to you guys. But why I bring that up is this money, a lot of times is the 401k money. It's the IRA money that someone's been saving for a whole lifetime. So you're getting rollovers that are $500,000–$600,000 into one of these products, right? And think about this: when a person retires, they have 3 people managing their money. Someone at the bank, savings account, CDs account, things like that. Someone managing their 401k. Someone managing their insurance products, right? They consolidate to one when they retire. How do you become the one? That's my question, right? How do you become the one? There's a couple ways. I'm going to give you some bad news. Typically, the one is whoever's managing their investments, right? So I'm going to challenge you guys: get through the ranks, get your series licenses, right? That'll only help you, okay? But how do you overcome that? Well, you position that one product, that investment individual, whether it's a 401k, as a product. Don't position it as the highest investments, because whoever has the most assets typically wins in this battle, right? And that's usually the 401k person or the IRA person. But what you can do is you can say, hey, I have 3 products with the client. I have an IUL, I have a fixed index annuity, I have a term, right? Is it a lot easier to roll 3 products into one, or 1 product into 3? 1 product into 3, right? So think about that. If you go to someone that has 3 people managing their money and say, hey, you told me you're thinking about moving your money to this advisor that's managing that 401k. They only have 1 product with you. Right? I have 3 products with you, and I have products that grow tax-free. They don't offer that same thing. Don't you think it's wise we take that 401k and maybe roll it over to me? Right? The more solutions or products you have with the client, I think it's a better opportunity you have to be able to get all their money when they retire. Okay? So I'm just giving you guys ways to win them, okay? I see it all the time. All right? And then lastly, living benefit. So you can add an income rider on to this contract after issue. I recommend add it at issue, because it's only going to be able to be added if it's available at that time. Okay? It's 1%. It's not that much, guys. Right? Your growth is net, so that 4% is net after fees, right? That's the growth you're getting, right? So it's not like 1% and then you're only getting 3% because you're taking out that fee. That's not how it works. Okay, I want to make sure everyone understands that. All right, great product, by the way. 50 and above, looking to take income. We beat everyone. David Parker's going to come and hopefully talk about it next week. I'm going to make a phone call and try to get him to make sure that he talks about it, right? Because we run it through Chrome. All right, our products run through Chrome. So, resources real quick here. Webinars. If you go to tldlearningcenter.com, we have a bunch of webinars posted on there that you guys can learn. We also have, just for the state of California, I actually have a webinar-based wholesaler for my territory. Her name's Erica Guyerland. Many of you have told me you're trying to tap into the Spanish market. Good news, she speaks Spanish. It took 6 years of it, I understand it, but I'm not very good at speaking it, right? It's more like Spanglish for me. But that being said, if you guys want to run any webinars for small groups, Erica can do that with you, right? Shoot me an email, I'll have Erica reach out to you, and she can run anything that I present, whether that's IGO training, my Transware training, FFIUL product training, she can do that for you. All I ask is you get more than 1 individual for her, right? Her time's very valuable because she's covering all of California, which you can assume is probably like 20,000 people within WFG just in California that she's covering, right? So her time is valuable, but don't be afraid. Okay, if you guys need that kind of thing or you're going after that market, she can definitely help you out there. Okay, sales desk. I don't know who's called in recently. The #1 complaint 2 years ago was the sales desk, right? Oh my gosh, hold times are horrible, right? All this stuff, right? We paid a lot of money to make sure that our sales desk is better, right? Right now, under 4-minute hold times, we'll actually call you back. I don't know if you've had that, if the times are longer than that, which is a very unique. They want to help you, right? They want to help you. They want to get the right answer. I think we've done a lot of improvement. If you don't get good service, let us know. What we do is we try to, I'm not going to get the person in trouble, but let me know the person you talked to at the time so we can pull those phone calls and improve, right? We're all about improving. whether that's myself or that's an internal sales partner, okay?
I would say that it's a major movement.
Thank you, thank you. We put a lot of money towards it, so we're hoping. We also, on the operations side, we partner with a company called TCS. Now, this is going to be very high level for many of you, and you're like, who cares about TCS, right? They're one of the leading operational companies in finance. What that's going to allow us to do, we actually, all of Transamerica is on our operational side switching to them. They bought our customer service headquarters in Iowa, Cedar Rapids. And why I bring this up is when we go to launch products now, it's going to be fast, right? Because we're moving things onto their platform, our FFIEL and other products, you're going to see operation times go down. So the time it takes from an application submission to documents being sent out, things like that, it's going to be faster, right? The transition has already began, and if you look at it right now, on average, policies from start to finish are 24 days on FFIEL, right? And they're getting faster and faster with this new process that we're implementing. And when we come to new products we want to do or enhancements on products, we're no longer going to have to wait this 180 to a whole year to wait, right? When we have an idea from the field that comes in, we'll be able to implement things probably within a month, okay? So we're really excited about this partnership that we've created that was done at the very high level of our company. Dave Paulson, head of distribution, created that contract. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that things are getting faster. And insurance, that's important, because if you recruit someone, what's the first thing they want to do? Get paid, right? So the faster they get paid, the more likely they are to stay, right? So that's what Transamerica is really working on. We understand that. You guys have a recruitment-based model, and we're working with you on that, okay? Lastly, all that health and wealth stuff you can find on transamerica.com. Videos from Dr. Joe Coughlin will be there as well. TLDlearningcenter.com. I'll say that one more time. TLDlearningcenter.com. If you haven't checked out that website, go to it. It's at the top here. I know it says /webinars. Don't worry about the slash. Go to the website. Those single sheets that I was talking about, right? If you go to know our products, on the right-hand side, we have all those different single sheets that we came out with. You can download them, print them off. You can also go on WFG's website and purchase them there as well, okay, on the e-store. So, I'm going to end with saying thank you, guys. I see the business coming out of this office, right? I see the leadership coming out of this office. I think there's a huge opportunity, right? I wouldn't be driving all the way out to NorCal, which takes me about an hour from my house now, if I didn't see it. This is a huge opportunity. You guys are great producers for the territory. The hierarchy you're in is a great hierarchy. I will be at Wealth Bowl. I'm highly recommending everyone go to Wealth Bowl. You'll probably see me speak on stage there. But we'll have lots of great material. A lot of times we launch things at Wealth Bowls. I can't disclose anything, but I'm almost positive every year we launch something at these things. Okay, so try to get there as much as possible. All right. How much time do I have left here? Are we still good on time?
Good on time.
Okay. So with the last 5 minutes, I told you guys I'm going to help you build your business. Okay. So I want to give you some sales strategies. Pretty fortunate. Southern California, of all the individuals in Transamerica, we have, out of the top 10, we have 5, right, that reside in Southern California in terms of producers, right? So I'm frequent contact with these people, and I'm always asking them, what are you doing that someone else isn't, okay? And I'm going to give you what they're doing, all right? This is what they're doing. First off, they're going after foreign national markets, okay? For those of you that aren't going after foreign national markets, I highly recommend you do. Okay? It's the same product. FFIEL is the same product for a foreign national or a domestic person. Okay? The only difference is a lot of times they can't get the LTC or the living benefits. That's it, right? We look at worldwide assets when it comes to foreigners, and it has to be a paper app. That's as simple as that. It doesn't get any more complex than that. We actually have a foreign national checklist. So if you go on the WFG website, type in foreign national Transamerica checklist, we go through what you need, what requirements are there. The reality is, to write business, they need what I call healthy, wealthy, and a connection to the United States. Okay, that's the easiest way to describe it. Healthy, wealthy, connection to the United States. The number one reason for national business you can write, connection to the United States. Frequent travel qualifies. Now people say, what's frequent travel, Brett? Right? Frequent travel is you came here maybe 10 years ago to go to Disneyland with your family, and now you're back. That's frequent, right? More than once. We just don't want you to write a policy where the person comes off a plane, you write a policy, and then they leave. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's it. Okay, so if they come here more than once, that'll qualify. Does everyone understand that? All right, it's really easy, guys. I mean, you want big premiums? These are big premiums. I wrote a $25 million policy with one of the agents in my territory. The premium was over $300,000. A pretty good payday for one policy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
San Diego?
No, Irvine. There is one in San Diego. There's a $20 million one in San Diego. It was another huge policy. Okay. Why I bring this up is there's a huge market coming to the United States, and when I asked these top 5 people what are they doing, they said they're going after this foreign market. I asked another question. I said, who are you targeting and how are you targeting? What do you think they said? They said, I'm going after immigration lawyers. California has some of the largest immigration lawyers out of every state in the whole United States, right? And if you're not prospecting the right groups, right, you're not going to get to the right people. So what they've done is they've actually got a referral system set up with immigration lawyers, right? Because immigration lawyers know, hey, I can actually join WFG, maybe do a split code, right, and make some money on the side with not doing too much. I'll have Reggie do all the legwork, right? Yes. Knowing that you're both getting paid, right? I mean, if we're getting $20 million policies, you guys are still getting paid, but that's a great referral source, right? Don't be afraid to go after those people. Some people don't want to join, that's fine. Just say, hey, if anyone's looking to invest their money or getting it out of the country, right? Transamerica doesn't dictate how the money gets here, okay? It just has to be in a U.S. bank account, okay? Don't come up to me and tell me, hey, Brett, do you know how to get money out of this country today? Right? There is ways, okay? And I have people recording me right now, so I can't say, but there are ways, right?
I'm not recording.
Yeah, be smart about it, right? That's the bank's decision to monitor where the money comes from, not Transamerica's, okay?
Yep.
So I want to say that. So foreign nationals, go after immigration lawyers. Really easy to prospect those, right? The other thing is, think outside the box. Right? I'm big into psychology, and I recently read that before age 4, human brains are operating at genius levels. Right? You hear the saying, kids' brains are like a sponge, right? Okay? They remember everything. Okay? What they did is they looked at age 20, right? Genius level brain operation, less than 10% of the population. By age 30, less than 2%. And I asked the question, why? Right? It's because we get into methods, right? And we're taught a certain way, and that's all we do. We're taught, this is how you prospect, this is how you do it, right? Which I'm not saying don't follow a method. I think the method and strategies are there. But you have to think outside the box. If you're doing the same thing over and over and it's not working, stop doing it. Try something else new, right? Go to the consulates, right? We have all these great consulates here in California. Go meet up groups, right? There's so many different opportunities that you guys can go use and think outside the box when thinking about marketing your business. Don't just keep doing what everyone else is doing. And I will say food drives people, right? If you're not doing lunch and learns at companies or things like that, everyone should do it. Pizza, if you get a 50 person room, right? You'll buy $50 worth of pizza. $5 pizzas at Domino's, right? People will feel guilty if they don't sit around and listen to you. Right, and they grabbed a slice, right? Yeah. You'd be amazed at people's it's all psychology, right? Sales is all psychology, I'm telling you guys. So, look at going after businesses, right? Easy way as well, right? You don't even have to, owners will let you come in there if you're leading with a learning approach. Saying, hey, I'm not even going to talk about product, we're just going to give some stats about retirement, about Social Security, right? About saving for retirement or getting out of debt. Where you can pick a couple subjects. Don't even talk about Transamerica, right? Sell yourself there, right? Because you don't know if their 401k that company is with Transamerica or not. Leave your business card. I guarantee people are going to call you after. They're not going to talk to you right there because they don't like talking money in front of their other employees, right? But most of those people in small businesses have been dropped from their advisor because they didn't meet minimums of 250 or whatever that is. And so they're looking for someone to help you, okay? So that's one strategy, okay? So immigration lawyers, go after small businesses. The last one I will say, go after the Spanish market in California. For those of you that aren't hitting that market, the insurance test just got put in Spanish, so they can do that. I think that's a big opportunity here in Southern California. I know G's making that a priority in his own hierarchy, right? Even if you don't speak Spanish, right? Go partner with someone that does. Or if you want to go after the Chinese market, partner with someone that speaks that language, right? That's the great thing about WFG. You guys have partnerships you can create, okay? That's how you're going to be able to get more business. People like doing businesses with their own cultures, right? It's innate in their nature to do business with their own culture, okay? And that's not, I'm not saying that for race or anything like that, but that's just a reality, okay? And if you want to know, in my opinion, what's the next wealthy area or worldwide group, go look at South Coast Plaza or Fashion Island Mall, right? See who these retailers are marketing towards, right? Because they spend billions of dollars to figure out who to market to, especially the high-end ones. You'll be able to tap into that market before it's saturated, right? So if you guys went to South Coast Plaza, I don't know if you guys know where that is.
Yep.
Okay.
Asian
Do you ever
culture.
walk the halls? Well, 5 years ago, what happened? 5 years ago, if you looked on there, oil was at an all-time high, right? And so what you saw is a lot of Arabic writing, right? Because Saudis were coming over here, and that was a lot of the money at that point, right? And now, if you look at it, what is it? Chinese, right? Well, smart people realize that, man, they spend billions of dollars. Why am I going to do the legwork to try to figure out who's the next big wealthy country when these marketing companies are getting paid billions by retail companies, right? So I say go walk the halls, right? And you'd be amazed at how many people you can actually prospect in these stores, right? You talked about it earlier, right? Take your kid shopping, right? Do all that. There's a lot of different opportunities. That's thinking outside the box. I can't tell you, I have a 15-month-old daughter, right? When I bring her to the store, everyone stops and says, oh my gosh, your daughter's so cute, right? Perfect opportunity for you to say, oh yeah, she's cute. She's gonna cost me a lot. You know, have you thought about, you can create a way, right? Think outside the box, okay? So the last thing I'll say, underwriting. I know there's been some questions about our underwriting. Hey, have you guys gotten stricter on their underwriting? We haven't gotten stricter, right? We've actually gotten easier. So there's a lot of electronic stuff you can do now, electronic signatures you can send out, right? That's where we're headed, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a couple pages. Page 13 on our underwriting guide. A lot of people ask me, it's the number one question I'm getting right now. Hey, I have this client from this country. They have this visa. Can they get approved for an IUL? Starting on page 13, I think it goes to page 17 or 18, we list all the different visas, right? And at the top it says what product they can get, right? And the best class as well, right? So, page 13 of the underwriting guide, okay? If we scroll down to page 26, medical impairments. I get a lot of questions about heart issues, right? Person had a heart valve put in, right? How long do I have to wait? Can they qualify? Diabetes, right? Can they qualify? All this stuff. We list it all out on our underwriting guide, right? I'm not saying this because I don't want you guys to call me, right? But I want to teach you guys how to fish, right? If you have the underwriting guide with you and someone says, oh, but I have diabetes. Oh, when did you have diabetes? Is it under control? Are you taking insulin? And if you get those questions answered, you can tell them, well, we could probably get you approved, right? So you're not going to say, oh, I can get you approved without knowing, right? You hate to be in front of someone, sales right in front of you, you tell them you can get approved, and the reality is they can't get approved, right? So those are some common issues that I see. I'm going to stop here because I've been talking way too long. What questions do you guys have?
Fired up.
All right, so we're all going to go sell 1 million policies?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, well, I do like this, guys. Last time I came here, and we said, hey, how many of you guys sat behind, or talked to a family, right? I think only about 4 people stood up, right? This time, 80% of the room stood up, right? Next time, let's get 100%. Right? We're almost there. We're 20% off, right?
Yeah.
So, yes.
You guys have any brochures or anything like for Life Insurance Awareness Month?
So right now, no. We're going to come out with some electronic kind of stats. It's still getting through compliance. I'm hoping to be able to send you all a PowerPoint. That's agent use, so you guys can actually use it. Yes.
Is there a way I can get a copy of this PowerPoint?
I can send it to you guys as long as it's agent use only. You're not going to go share it with people. I actually put together this PowerPoint. It's like 5 PowerPoints together. This is the most effective that I found. I took the best of all worlds for you guys because I could have done the standard PowerPoints, but I don't believe that adds value. So I'll send it to you and then you can distribute it.
Thanks, Brett.
No worries. Any other questions, guys? Issues, objections. I talk to the best in the industry. I know you guys. If you don't have objections and you don't want to throw them at me, look, I spent. You guys know Danny Farias, right?
Yep.
He's in the same hierarchy, right? I was at his office and I did a whole objection training. Right? And I mean, people were throwing everything at me. From, hey, my mom is all about this company called Fidelity and she wants investments. How do you overcome that? Right? If someone says they want to be investing in the stock market and not in the IUL, right? How do you anything? Right? I've heard it all. I've been from the variable annuity industry to the mutual fund industry. I've done it all. So yes.
Is Transamerica trying to come up with anything comparable to like what Nationwide and Pacific Life are doing about like their whole intelligent underwriting, where someone can do a telephone interview and help reduce the chances of asking for an APS, labs.
So we are looking at non-med options in the $1 million time frame, and in terms of the underwriting aspect, yes. Is it going to be called intelligent underwriting? No,
Yeah, but
right?
you know what I mean.
Everyone has their tagline, yes, but we are actively looking at that. The other thing we're actively looking at is adding long-term care on existing contracts. That is something that we understand people really want. We've shied away from that because you saw the stats. A lot of people, what they do is they wait until they really need it and they can't qualify for it, right? So one of the things we've actually done is we said, hey, let's make it a requirement. You got to get it at issue, right? But we also understand that we need to be competitive in the marketplace, and so we are looking at that as well. I will say the first quarter of 2019 should be a pretty good year for everyone, with some things that are coming out for the FFIUL without going into too much detail. A lot of the objections you're going to get on the illustrations will be subdued with some things that we're coming out with, I'll put it that way. Okay, I can't go into much detail, I'll leave a cliffhanger for you, okay? But we do hear you guys, so when you guys tell me, hey, I wish that you had this product, I wish you had this or that, and when we see our competitors do stuff, we want to be the #1 product still. So we got to make sure we always elevate ourselves. That's why we get 99% of the business, I'll leave the 1%, right? What other questions? Anything else? Yes?
On the term or on the IUL, can it be I-10 only, or do they have to have their visa?
Typically they have to have their visa,
Okay.
right? I'll give you guys one scenario that's a case-by-case scenario, right? If they have a temporary green card, right? A lot of people have temporary green cards, they're applying for their full-time green card. We look at those as case-by-case scenarios, okay? If they show proper documentation that they've applied for a permanent green card, sometimes we can push those ones through. What I say is if a family member has a permanent green card and let's say one of the family members is temporary, that's a pretty good case that I can get approved for you, okay? So that's the one scenario where, you know, so does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for all you do. I will see you at the Wealth Bowls, if not earlier. And if you guys have questions, I'll stick around for like 5 minutes after, okay? Thank you.